Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday morning, February 1st. It's the beginning of a new month, and we have a high impact type of storm that will spread some snow and ice across a large part of the nation over the next few days, all the way from Texas to the northeastern part of the nation. Some of those areas can see significant snowfall. Other areas can see a substantial icing over the next few days. So a lot to talk about this morning. First of all, here's the forecast map by the 0Z run of the GFS for the total snowfall over the next several days. Just wanted to point out the large scale region of the country that will be impacted here, all the way from the southwestern U.S. into the northeast. And this is just the snowfall map. Let's now take a look at the potential for icing. And here we go. This is the freezing rain, the total freezing rain expected over the next several days with this system, again by the 0Z run of the GFS. And this is certainly more than some of the other models are suggesting, but there will absolutely be areas of significant icing over the next few days. Again, this extends from Texas all the way into the northeastern part of the nation between, let's say, later tomorrow night into the day on Friday, even into Friday night. And I do believe we may have freeze-up conditions in the mid-Atlantic region come Friday night, with a sudden drop in temperatures and still very damp conditions on the roadways, something we'll have to look out for, and we'll talk about that over the next few minutes. But a large part of the nation will be impacted by snow and ice over the next several days. Well, let's use the 0Z run of the GFS and first take a look at the 850 millibar temperature anomalies. Starting off the day, quite cold here in the mid-Atlantic region. Stays quite cold despite some sunshine today, and certainly below freezing conditions tonight. We'll have to watch out for some slick spots on the roads in the mid-Atlantic region late tonight. It'll be a combination of kind of damp air in the lower part of the atmosphere, maybe even some patchy fog in spots with below freezing temperatures. That is not a good combination. It could make for some black ice conditions late tonight in the mid-Atlantic region. But first of all, let's take a look here at the broad picture and look at this air mass here excuse me, as we begin the month of February. Very cold air with way below normal temperatures for the beginning of February. This is some 20 degrees below normal up across the southwestern part of Canada, all backed up by a very strong Arctic high pressure system. Let's now move forward here, and we can see by midweek we have a strong frontal system right in this part of the nation. This is an Arctic front. It'll be kind of the focus of attention over the next several days, as it will be a slow mover from the northwest to the southeast with tremendous cold air behind it, centered at this particular time at midweek over the southwestern part of Canada, but certainly spilling into the northern and central plains. Let's keep moving forward. It does turn milder in the mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. On Wednesday and especially on Thursday, ahead of this strong Arctic front. And you can see right here on the temperature map here, by the time we get into Thursday, it stays mild in the mid-Atlantic region ahead of the frontal system. Some rain is absolutely on the table for Thursday into Thursday night in the mid-Atlantic region in the northeast U.S. This is the early evening forecast map for Thursday, about 7 o'clock Thursday evening here. A lot of cold air on the other side of that Arctic front. Continues to move slowly to the south and east by the time we get into the day on Friday. Some of that Arctic air will start to filter into the mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., and certainly interior sections of the mid-Atlantic region and the northeast U.S. are in store for a changeover to ice and then to snow. And there can be some accumulations in some of the interior sections of the mid-Atlantic region and the northeast U.S. Not all that common to get accumulating ice and snow on the backside of a front in the I-95 corridor region and points to the south and east, but that is certainly on the table here for Friday into Friday night. Again, Arctic air will be filtering in, not blasting in, just slowly filtering in, and there's the likelihood that the rain will change over to ice and perhaps even all snow, even in parts of the I-95 corridor region, something we'll get a better handle on over the next few days. By the time we get to Friday night, this timetable right here, we could have freeze-up conditions in the Mid-Atlantic region, the Northeast U.S., where the sudden drop of temperatures to way below freezing, still perhaps some wetness on the roadways, kind of a time period we'll have to watch out for travel problems in the Mid-Atlantic region and Northeast U.S. Could even be some accumulating ice and snow at this particular time. This is when the drier air will win out and the precipitation will end. It stays cold into the upcoming weekend, and then we'll have to watch the potential of a storm system that may form in the southeastern states and come up to the north late in the upcoming weekend. Well, let's now look at the vorticity field at 500 millibars from last night's operational run of the GFS. A couple things I want to point out here as we move forward. Here we are by this evening, and then into tomorrow morning, and finally by later tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Notice here the wind flow in the upper part of the atmosphere, basically southwest to northeast, and this is indeed why that Arctic front will be very slow moving to the from the northwest to the southeast, because it'll end up becoming quite aligned with that upper air wind flow. It will not come blasting through by any means. It'll be a slow process as it pushes into the Mid-Atlantic region, the Northeast U.S. later in the week. Let's now move forward here in time and watch what happens here by the time we get to Thursday. Notice a lot of this energy hanging back here in the southwestern U.S. by the time we get to Thursday evening. By this time, the front will be closing in on the I-95 corridor region, again, just inching its way from the northwest to the southeast. And with all that energy still lagging behind, it tends to stretch out here right along the frontal boundary zone. There certainly will be some precipitation on the other side of the front, on the cold side of the front, and that's the reason why we fear there could be a changeover to ice and perhaps even all snow, even into the I-95 corridor region during the day on Friday. And once that front clears the coast, temperatures will really drop sharply, and by Friday night could be some freeze-up conditions to worry about in the northeastern quadrant of the nation. Let's go out a little bit farther in time here. This is now Saturday and going into the day on Sunday. And look at this system right here that the GFS has. This may very well turn into a storm system that comes up from the southeast into the north late this week, and maybe Sunday, Monday time frame, several days away to fine-tune that possibility. But something to watch out for the Sunday, Monday time frame. Well, let's now take a look at the surface forecast maps from the 0Z run of the GFS. Let's move forward after a sunny, cold day today. Watch out late tonight. This is the 1 a.m. forecast map, and notice a couple things here at this particular time. No precipitation, but a kind of a southwesterly flow of air starts to form in the western part of the Mid-Atlantic region. Really, that translates right into the eastern part of the Mid-Atlantic region by early tomorrow morning. In other words, the low-level atmosphere will moisten up, and with below freezing temperatures, could be some slick spots, some black ice late tonight, early tomorrow to watch out for. Now, here we are on Wednesday. Look at this. First of all, it's very, very strong Arctic high, 1049 millibar high in southwestern Canada. That is the anchor for a tremendously cold air mass here. A lot of snow breaking out in the heartland with a period, an area of ice between the snow and rain on the warm side of that Arctic front. Let's move forward here. This is Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. Again, we talked about that frontal system getting aligned with the upper air wind flow, and that will help to slow it down tremendously, but it will be backed up by that very strong high, and sometimes it's pretty hard to stop Arctic air from pushing to the south and east because it is so cold and so dense that it will, believe me, it will make an advance into the Mid-Atlantic region and northeast U.S. Now let's move forward here. Look at this. By the time we get to Thursday morning, a large region of icing from Texas all the way up into the Mid-Atlantic region, the interior Mid-Atlantic region by Thursday afternoon. At this particular time, mild in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, with some rain and some accumulating snow in the cold air on the other side of that frontal system as it inches its way to the south and east. And then by the time we get into Friday, possibility that the rain changes over to ice and then even to a period of snow in the Mid-Atlantic region, in the northeast U.S., and with all that energy hanging back in the cold air, there could be some precipitation all the way into Friday night, something we'll have to watch out for. Possible freeze-up, setting up for possible freeze-up conditions Friday night in the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., meaning temperature could be dropping sharply, roads can still be wet from the prior rain or ice, and could be some slick conditions, in other words, Friday night, and we'll monitor this over the next few days. Now, the GFS is certainly the coldest of most of the models. It tends to be kind of an outlier here in that it produces more ice and more snow in the Mid-Atlantic region and northeast U.S. than the other models do. I don't rule it out, however, with this tremendously strong Arctic high supporting that cold air mass. It's entirely possible that the cold air comes in a little quicker, as GFS is suggesting, compared to some of the other models here late this week. Something we'll have to fine-tune over the next few days. So a lot going on as we begin a new month of February. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.